Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for being patient. Sorry we had to get more chairs, but that's a good problem to have. So we are absolutely excited to have everybody here. Students, I'm going to ask that you please have a seat. We should have our choir standing here, our sign language club. Can you kind of separate sign language club a little bit? All right, you're going to be doing the pledge. All right, thank you. What I'm going to do is ask everybody now to please stand for the posting of the colors. Students doing the Pledge of Allegiance, please come forward.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Hello, I am Mrs. Miller, principal at Columbia Middle School. It's an honor to stand before you today as we gather to commemorate Veterans Day, a day dedicated to those who have served in our armed forces and sacrificed so much for the freedom we hold dear. First, I want to extend a special welcome to the veterans in the room. Thank you for being here today. Your courage, dedication, and selflessness are the reason we can stand here today in peace and safety. We owe you an incredible debt of gratitude, and while today is a day to honor you, I want you to know that we are deeply grateful for your service every single day of the year. To our students, tomorrow is more than just a day off from school. It's a day to reflect, learn, and truly understand the significance of the freedoms we enjoy and the price in which they come. As young people growing up in a country of opportunity and liberty, it's important to remember that those rights and freedoms were earned by the brave men and women in uniform, people like the veterans with us today. Veterans Day is not just about remembering soldiers who fought in wars, though we certainly honor their sacrifice. It's about acknowledging that freedom does not come easily. Every veteran in this room made a choice. They chose to serve, to defend our country, and to protect the values we hold dear. Values like liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. Some fought on distant shores, some served during times of peace, but all of them made the same pledge, to put their country before themselves. If you are a veteran and you served during any of the following conflicts, please stand so that we can honor you for your service. Do we have anyone that was in World War II? If you served in the Korean War, please stand. Thank you, sir. If you served in the Vietnam War, please stand. If you served in the Persian Gulf War, Operation Desert Shield or Desert Storm, please stand. If you served in Operation Iraqi Freedom or Operation Enduring Freedom, Afghanistan, please stand. If you have served in Operation Inherent Resolve or any ongoing missions in the global war on terrorism, please stand. And finally, if you are currently serving or served during peacetime, please stand as well. Thank you. As we honor the veterans here today, I encourage each of you to think about what it means to serve, not just in the military, but in your own life. Serving your community, standing up for what is right, helping others when they need it most, these are all ways we can honor the spirit of sacrifice. President John F. Kennedy once said, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." While we may not all be called to serve in the military, we are all called to serve in our own ways. Whether it's in our homes, schools, or communities, we can all make a positive difference, just as our veterans have done for our nation. I know many of you may not have personal experience with military service, but let's take a moment to think about the sacrifices our veterans have made for us. These are men and women who have missed birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays with their families. They have endured difficult, sometimes dangerous conditions far from home. They've faced challenges that many of us can't even imagine, and yet they did it all because they believed in something bigger than themselves. So today, I ask all of you to reflect on the meaning of service and sacrifice. Thank you to our veterans for all that you have done. Thank you for the freedoms we have sometimes taken for granted. And thank you for the example you set, for showing us that true strength is not just about physical courage, but also about bravery to stand up for what is right, even when it's difficult. To our veterans, we honor you, we respect you, and we deeply are grateful for your service. You have shaped the world we live in, and your legacy will live on in the future generations you've inspired. And to our students and staff, let's remember that freedom is a gift, and it is our responsibility to protect it, not just on Veterans Day, but every day. Thank you all. At this time, I'd like to call up a few students from each grade to read about the history of Veterans Day. Come on up. Miles, Katie, Elena, Emerson, Colston, Brinley, JT, Harper, Drew, Delaney, Braden, and Olivia.
Hi, I'm Miles, and I'm going to be reading the introduction to Veterans Day. Veterans Day is a special day to honor and remember all the men and women who have served in the U.S. military. It's not just a holiday for those who have fought in wars, but for all veterans past and present. Let's take a moment to learn more about how this important day came to be.
I'm Alice Clark. I'm Katie Meyer, and I'll be reading The Origins of Veterans Day. On November 11, 1918, the fighting stopped when an armistice or ceasefire was signed between the Allies and Germany. This moment became known as Armistice Day. Originally, Armistice Day was created to honor those who fought and died in World War I, but over time it evolved into something greater.
Hi, I'm Elena Stumpf, and I'm going to be reading The Changing of the Name. In 1954, after World War II and the Korean War, the U.S. Congress changed the name of Armistice Day to Veterans Day to honor all American veterans, not just those from World War I. President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the change into law, and since then, November 11th has been a day to honor service and sacrifice of all U.S. military veterans.
I'm Emerson Wilkins, and I'll be reading The Role of Veterans Day in the United States. Today, Veterans Day is a federal holiday observed each year on November 11th. It's a time for our nation to pause and say thank you to all veterans for their courage and commitment. While Memorial Day honors those who died in service, Veterans Day honors all who have served, living or deceased, in the U.S. military.
Hello, my name is Colston Camp, and I'm going to be reading about the significance of November 11th. November 11th was chosen as Veterans Day because it marks the end of World War I. The war ended on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918. That moment symbolized peace and hope for the world after years of devastating conflict. It's a reminder of how precious peace truly is.
Hi, my name is Brinley Thomas, and I'll be reading The Importance of Parades and Ceremonies. Every year, communities across the United States hold parades and ceremonies to honor veterans. The largest parade takes place in New York City, but small towns and schools like ours also hold meaningful events. These gatherings bring people together to show respect and appreciation for those who served.
Hello, I'm JT Lundholm, and I'll be reading the Veterans Day National Ceremony. One of the most important Veterans Day events happens at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. During the national ceremony, the President of the United States places a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. This act honors all who have served, especially those whose names and stories we may never know.
Hi, I'm Eliana Mize, and I'll be reading Symbols of Honor. Veterans Day is filled with symbols that represent service and sacrifice. The American flag stands for freedom and unity. The poppy flower represents remembrance of those who have fallen. And the sound of taps remind us to pause and reflect. These symbols help us remember the true meaning behind this day.
I'm Drew Hopkins, and I'm reading How We Can Honor Veterans. We can honor veterans in many ways by thanking them for their service, writing letters of appreciation, attending local events like this one, or simply taking time to learn their stories. Even a small gesture of gratitude can make a big difference to someone who has served our country.
Hi, I'm Delaney Meisner, and I will be reading Why Veterans Day Matters to Students. As students, we can learn a lot from the examples set by our veterans. Their courage, discipline, and teamwork are the same values we strive for every day in school. Veterans remind us that freedom isn't free. It's something earned and protected through hard work and sacrifice.
I'm Braden Barnes, and I'll be reading The Meaning of Veterans Day for Veterans. For many veterans, Veterans Day is an emotional time. It gives them a chance to be recognized for their service and to be remembered the friends they served beside. It's a day that reminds them, and all of us, that their dedication continues to protect the freedom we enjoy every day.
Hi, I'm Olivia Schlemmer. On behalf of Columbia Middle School, we want to thank all veterans here with us today and those who couldn't be here for your service and sacrifice. Veterans Day is our opportunity to express our gratitude, not just today, but every day. Let's all take a moment to remember those who have served and continue to protect our country. Thank you, veterans.
Great job, guys. This morning, we are honored to welcome our guest speaker, Dr. Trey Raggett Warren. Dr. Warren earned his bachelor's degree in history from the University of Texas at Austin before serving 13 years in the United States Navy. During his distinguished military career, he flew as a radar intercept officer in the F-14 Tomcat and as a weapons systems officer in the FA-18F Super Hornet. I hope I said that right. Dr. Warren is a Top Gun graduate and was designated as both a Joint Terminal Attack Controller and a Forward Air Controller airborne instructor. He completed 192 combat missions during 3 deployments to Afghanistan and Iraq, flying from aircraft carriers, and a 4th deployment to Iraq with Special Forces. Over the course of his service, he completed 460 carrier catapult launches and landings and logged more than 3,000 flight hours in military aircraft. After leaving the Navy, Dr. Warren worked in supply chain management and later earned his PhD in political science from the University of Missouri, St. Louis. He now serves as a professor of political science at Lindenwood University in St. Louis, Missouri. Please join me in giving a warm Columbia Middle School welcome to Dr. Trey Raggett Warren.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Principal Miller, for having me. Thank you, Columbia. Appreciate being here with all you. First, I'd like to thank the teachers and the staff for everything you do. I know on Veterans Day, it's always about veterans, but I always enjoy thanking the teachers and the staff because you guys mean a lot to the students and to the parents. Next, I'd like to thank the veterans. I don't know about you guys, but for me, this is what it's all about. It's all about family. And so I want to thank you guys, men and women, for being here with your families today. So today, I didn't want to just stand up here and give a speech and talk at you because who wants to hear a 51-year-old guy just talk at you, right? So what I want to do today is kind of talk about and expand on what Principal Miller talked about, but from my perspective of when I was growing up. And so there's 2 themes that I want to talk about today. The first one is believing in your dreams and doing what you love. And the second one is about giving yourself to something that's higher than yourself, to some kind of service that's higher than you. And so as far as believing in your dreams and doing what you love, literally when I was in middle school, this movie called Top Gun came out. And I saw this movie and I was like, wow, that'd be kind of cool to fly F-14 someday. And then, lo and behold, I don't know, 10, 15 years later, I was flying F-14s. I actually thought about trying to say that after the second Top Gun movie came out, I thought about flying F-14s, but I figured you guys probably wouldn't buy that considering I'm 51, right? But for me to get there and to do that, it took a lot of, we always throw out buzzwords like perseverance and dedication. But, it really took me believing in that dream. I was raised by a single mother for quite a few years. We lived in a small house just outside of Dallas, Texas. And so, I grew up helping my mom around the house. I got good grades in middle school. I did well in high school. I picked up a Navy scholarship, so the Navy paid for me. Talk to this in a second when I get to my part of the speech where I talk about service. But this whole idea of doing what you love, that's really what powers me today, is doing what I love. And so, as you guys are growing up and you're thinking about, man, what do I want to do in life? Don't be afraid to chase your dreams. And I'm sitting here talking to the middle school students, but I'm also kind of talking to adults as well. I'm 51, and I just figured out a few years ago that I wasn't chasing my dream. And so I think that message applies to all of us today, is don't be afraid to go after your dream. I did it, and, I'm here today, after flying F-14s and F-18s in the Navy. The second message I want to talk about is giving yourself to something higher, some higher purpose. So, Principal Miller, great job talking about, service in the military. And, a lot of us, when we think about higher service, we think about, first responders, police officers, firemen and women, paramedics, doctors, nurses, teachers, public officials. To me, giving yourself to higher service can be as simple as volunteering at Sunday school at your church on Sundays, or volunteering at a food pantry, or going to a skilled nursing facility and just walking around and talking to individuals who are at a skilled nursing facility. My mom's in one right now, and she loves when middle school and high school students come around and just kind of talking to them. And so, this belief of giving yourself to something that's higher, I think that's what really fuels America, and that's what service is all about. And so, how that applies to me and my story. So I get out of the Navy, after 4 combat deployments, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with my life now. I get into supply chain management, 4 years of that. I'm like, this isn't really doing it for me. So, I go back to graduate school, and I'm doing graduate work, and I decide, maybe I want to try banking. Banking sounds kind of cool. And then after a few years in banking, I'm like, this really isn't doing it for me either. And about that time, I starting to have really significant and severe symptoms from my post-traumatic stress, and also from brain injuries that I received in my combat deployments and just flying on and off aircraft carriers for so many years. And so, as I'm, going through treatment and I'm working through my injuries, I'm able to earn my PhD, and I start teaching. And that time of me starting to teach really helped me see that this is what I really need to be doing right now. When I was active duty in the Navy, I taught from time to time. After I graduated from Top Gun, I was a tactics instructor, and I taught new pilots how to fight the jet. And I really loved doing that. And it literally took me probably another 15, 20 years to realize I need to be teaching. That's what I need to do. And so, I started doing that, and that really helped me as far as, doing what I love, but I still felt like I'm missing something. And so, after I, did some healing from my injuries, I started working with my friend Dustin Rowe here, helping veterans who are struggling. And that's where I really found my love is not just teaching, but also helping veterans who are, struggling with, combat wounds, even just, with trying to make ends meet. And so, I wanted to share that kind of personal story with you guys as, part of kind of my message to everybody here today is, following your dreams, doing what you love, and giving yourself to some higher cause. Because that's what really fuels America, to me, and that's what makes America so great, is us helping each other, right? And so, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. That's why I love America. God bless you guys, and God bless America. And now for the cool part, everybody always asks me, what's it like to fly on and off an aircraft carrier? Well, I can tell you it's... probably about 30 seconds of sheer terror. Particularly the thing I hated were night takeoffs. Oh, that's okay. I hated night takeoffs. Getting shot off the ship into the nothing but darkness is not a fun place to be at. But we've got a couple of videos queued up, and this one is of a pilot coming into land at the aircraft carrier during the day. And so we do this kind of a landing when the weather's really nice, and as you can tell, it's a beautiful day outside. You can see the ship up there in the very top left. And so you can see there's a big white streak coming out behind the ship. That's what we call the wake. That's never a good thing when you're a pilot, because that means you're going to have to deal with some weird winds coming across the deck, and it's going to cause the jet to dip down. Right here, the pilot's basically got the landing gear down, and they're all set up to land, and now the pilot's just trying to intercept the glide slope to come into land. So as Principal Miller cues the video up, I'm going to let you guys watch the video, and then once the landing happens, I'm going to kind of just very briefly talk about what that's like. All right, so that landing area that the pilot just landed in is about probably, if you take this full gym and maybe another half a gym, that's about how long the landing area is. There's normally only 2 wires rigged. Documentaries always say, aircraft carrier has 4 wires. They normally only have 2 rigged. So you have 50% chance of landing, or actually stopping, I'm sorry. And so when you land, it's a pretty violent, kind of smackdown on the jet. And, the airplane at that point is traveling about 160 miles an hour. So you go from 160 to 0 in about the length of this gym, actually probably about half the gym once you catch the wire. So as soon as you touch down, you go to full military power and you hold the angle of attack that you had with the stick. You basically hold the nose where it's at. So if you don't catch a wire, you immediately get back airborne again. I've actually had friends who perfect landing, wire snapped, and the airplane goes, off the front of the boat, and they have to eject. That does happen. We do have wires part. And so that's what, basically what a day landing at the aircraft carrier is like, when it's nice outside. The next video I'm going to ask Principal Miller to play is a night landing at the aircraft carrier. And so this is where it gets really stupid. Who would want to land at a moving runway at night? And so in this video, you'll see a little light out there. That little light is the aircraft carrier. And when we're flying at night, literally you can't see anything. When you're out at sea, it's just darkness. And I've lost friends who got disoriented and ended up not being able to tell the sky from the water and flew into the water. It happens. And so it's very disorienting. And so you're on what we call your instruments, where you're just flying in the HUD and you're just basically using your instruments to maintain level flight. And so we do this after coming back from combat missions. I flew 8.5-hour combat missions in an F-14 over the mountains of Afghanistan, over in the Far East, along the border with Pakistan. And we'd have to come back and land this after being in 8.5-hour combat missions, supporting troops on the ground, and some pretty nasty firefights. I actually had one emergency where we were on a tanker over Kandahar, and we started getting sparks shooting out of one of our engines. And next thing you know, our engine rolls back and we lose one of our engines. And just so you know, it's about a 2.5-hour flight from Kandahar to the boat. So we had to fly for 2.5 hours on one engine. We had to jettison all of our ordnance over the water, and then we had to come back and land single engine to this scenario. And there's, by the way, there's 4,000 people on this ship that are all helping us get back on this ship. So, I don't want to make it sound like, hey, all these pilots, we're great, this is all we do. We can't do it without the men and women that are on the ship because they're the ones that actually help us get back to the ship and get back on deck safely. So, again, I'll let this video play, and then when it ends, I'll talk briefly to it. And again, look for the light out there and see when you can find the light. Welcome to naval aviation. Only an idiot would do that, right? And so I think one of the unique things about naval aviation is that we do that in all weather. I literally had a landing at the boat where we lost our hydraulics. And this was over in the Caribbean, getting ready to deploy to Afghanistan in 2002. We're doing training. We lost our hydraulics. And as we're coming into land at night, there's thunderstorms everywhere. So imagine doing that in a thunderstorm. We're lightning all around us. We're getting buffeted around by the winds in the thunderstorm. And at the same time, we're literally, our jet is losing all the hydraulic fluid in it. And so we got to get this jet on deck. And so we come in, and the stick is starting to jump in our hands. And so we know we're starting to get air in the lines. And we're like, man, we got to, and I tell the people on the ship, hey, the stick's starting to jump in our hands. And so they're, like, hey, roger that. And so they're just talking to us. And they know we got to get this jet on deck. And so we're able to get the jet on deck, and as soon as we land, all the hydraulic fluid just out of the rest of our jet. And oh, by the way, we didn't break out of those thunderstorms until about a third of a mile from the ship. So we break out of the thunderstorms, and literally it's like one potato, two potato, boom, we're on the flight deck. And so we do this kind of stuff in all weather. It doesn't matter if we're in the fog, we're going to take off and land. I mean, I have takeoff and landings in the North Atlantic in the wintertime that were just, you would not believe the weather. So that's a little taste of what naval aviation is like. I wanted to introduce that today because most people here in the middle of the U.S., aren't really familiar with the Navy. But that's what it's like flying in the Navy. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for having me here today. I really appreciate sharing this day with you, Columbia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Warren. I'm Mrs. M. I'm the assistant principal here at CMS, and at this time I would like to invite the students who wrote a poem or an essay to come up and share that. They wrote down some of their own thoughts that they wanted to share with the veterans today. Carter Humphrey, Autumn Ludi, Charlotte Wheatley, Damon Schlemmer, Ashlyn Nolte, Max Baker, Alessandra Riemann, and Brooklyn Pryor.
Dear veterans, thank you all for coming. Also, thank you for your service. We are so thankful for your bravery and kindness. Thank you for taking responsibility to protect our country. We are thankful to everyone who served in the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, Space Force, and Coast Guard. Thank you for defending our freedom. We appreciate you for all that you have done for our country. I am grateful for your courage and everything you have done to America. To my classmates, if you know a veteran, ask them about their story. Sincerely, Carter Humphrey.
Dear all veterans, thank you for your service and all you have done for our country. We appreciate how brave and loyal you were to fight for the rights of our country. I would like to thank you for the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, Space Force, and Coast Guard. I would also like to remind you about Palmia. And even though they lost their lives in the war, we still want to remember what they did for our country. They lost their lives to protect their country and to protect us. This is why we celebrate Veterans Day, to thank veterans for their service, even if they lost their lives in battle. We support our veterans for what they have done to protect us and to protect our country. Sincerely, Autumn Ludi.
Veterans are people who put their lives on the line for all citizens. We should recognize the extreme sacrifices they have made for our country. These men and women are unbelievably brave and courageous. The amount of generosity they have is outrageous, and we should all be very thankful for these selfless men and women. Thank you for serving our country. Sincerely, Charlotte Wheatley.
Dear veterans, today we gather to pay a tribute to you, the brave men and women who have served and sacrificed so much. Veterans Day is more than a date on the calendar. It's a reminder of courage, bravery, and devotion that you have all shown to protect our nation. Because of your service, we wake up each morning in safety and peace. You have made it possible for us to live our lives free from fear, and you have given us the opportunities to pursue our dreams. The risks you took and the hardships you endured are beyond measurable. You served for not recognition or reward, but out of love for your country. Because of your courage, we live in peace. For those who did not return home today, we hold their memory in our hearts with us in the deepest of respects. Their sacrifice reminds us that freedom is never free. To me, Veterans Day is a time of a reflection and gratitude, a day to honor your service and remember your sacrifices. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your service. Sincerely, Damon Schlemmer.
to our honored veterans. Today we pause to recognize and pay tribute to the extraordinary men and women who have worn the uniform of our nation. There are no words sufficient enough to express the depth of our gratitude for your courage, sacrifice, and steadfast devotion to the cause of freedom. No matter the branch in which you served, the length of your service, or the role of your fulfillment, you answered a call greater than yourself. Whether in times of peace or in moments of peril, you stood ready to defend the liberties and values that define our nation. You faced uncertainty and hardship with strength and resolve, willingly bearing the weight of duty so that others might live in safety. The sacrifices you made, both on the field and away from home, speak to a rare and enduring form of heroism. You gave not only of your own lives, but also the moments with your family and loved ones, all in the service of a greater good. Though we can never fully comprehend the challenges you endured, we remain forever indebted to you. Your courage has preserved the freedoms we cherish, and your legacy continues to inspire future generations. May this message serve as a humble token of appreciation for all that you have given. On this day and every day, we honor you. May God bless you, may God bless your families, and may God bless the United States of America. With the deepest respect and eternal gratitude, Ashlyn Nolte.
Dear veterans, for the bravery, the sacrifices, and hard work that you all give, our nation, our people give you the utmost respect knowing that nor for you, our country would not be the same. For you guys fought and won. Thank you, dear veterans, for what you have done. Sincerely, Maxwell Baker.
Dear veteran, thank you for serving or having served in the past. Thank you for your service. Thank you for risking your lives so that we can have our freedom. You've made many sacrifices for us. Though we will never fully understand how much you have done for us, we always recognize everything you have done for our freedom and our country. While we're at home with friends and family, you traverse the air, land, and sea to make sure we stay safe and to protect and keep us free. Not only on Veterans Day, but every other day, we honor all of them. Those who answered the service call, young and old soldiers alike. Sincerely, Alessandra.
Dear veteran, for every step you took for peace, for every night you lost to fear, for all these days you gave away, we honor you, we hold you near. Your courage has built the freedom we know, your strength still lights our way. With all our hearts, we thank you now on this and every day. Sincerely, Brooklyn Pryor.
All right. Thank you, students. You did a great job. At this time, I'd like to invite a few sixth graders down to read a few quotes from former presidents about Veterans Day. Emily, Byron, and Elsie.
Hi, my name is Emily Rapini, and today I'll be reading your presidential quote by Donald Trump. Today, we come together as one nation to salute the veterans of the United States Armed Force, the greatest warriors to ever walk the face of the earth. Our veterans risked everything for us. Now it is our duty to serve and protect them every single day of our lives.
Veterans know better than anyone else the price of freedom, for they have suffered the scars of war. We can offer them no better tribute than to protect what they have won for us. Ronald Reagan.
Hi, I'm Elsie Peffer, and I'm going to be reading an Abraham Lincoln quote. Honor to the soldier and sailor everywhere who bravely bears his country's cause. Honor also to the citizen who cares for his brother in the field and serves as best he can the same cause. Abraham Lincoln.
All right, I believe Mr. Janey is going to pull up Our Armed Forces Medley. When your branch is called, we ask that you please stand up, veterans. Do you have a microphone too, Mr. G? Perfect. Nobody from the Space Force. Maybe some of our STEM students will see someday coming back and being in the Space Force. We'd like to thank everybody for coming. Mrs. M is going to have some closing remarks. I wanted to extend my sincere gratitude for everybody being here today. And thank you, Dad. My own dad is here today, so I was really excited about that.
We'd like to thank all of our students and our staff who worked extremely hard to make this a wonderful celebration today. Yes. We would also like to express a special thank you to the CMS Choir, our Sign Language Club, our Columbia High School Junior ROTC, and our guest speaker, Dr. Trey Warren. If you did not get a chance to get your picture taken, please do so before you leave, veterans. We'd also like to take a group photo of all of the veterans over here on this side of the gym before you leave as well. We will need all the cars to leave our back parking lot because we have recess later on today and the kids will be out there. Veterans, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for serving our country. You are true heroes to us. Thank you. At this time, we are going to have students head to class with their teachers, second hour class, starting with 8th grade. So everyone else kind of hang tight, 8th grade first.